The room they found themselves in was full of books, as one typically tends to be when it is a library.
Wow!
That is indeed a lot of books.
It's totally full of books.
We're all very surprised by the fact that a library is full of books.
There's so many. I don't know where to look.
And it looked remarkably like a library. What are the odds? It's almost like we knew that ahead of time. Not the sort of library where large numbers of people came to read books, more the sort of library that was simply a place to store books. I mean, technically, those are the same thing. He felt a little overwhelmed by the sheer number of books, but Junpei did his best to speak with authority.
All right, if we want to get through that door out there, we need the Neptune key. I say we split up and look for it.
Okay.
Very well.
It's pretty much the only chance we got, when we have very little time to spare.
Sure thing.
Good. Let's get started then. We don't have a lot of time. Hurry.
Alice sleeps in a small chamber past the Forest of Knowledge. As he began his search, for reasons he didn't fully understand, Junpei felt those particular words float through his mind. We are getting some kind of telekinetic message. What? Also, really? We're having a... Okay. That's honestly very interesting. Very strange. What? Yo, what the hell? Yo, what? Where the hell did all this come from? What the? What is this? What the hell? It grew an entire extra game. What the hell? Okay. All right then, sure. There's a note on that table. Lights to the books. Huh, what does that mean? Interesting. Well, intelligence often hides itself in darkness. Have you ever thought about the pages of a book? Each page only sees, what, maybe 2 or 3 minutes of light before the reader is on to the next. They spend the rest of their lives locked in darkness. Rather like myself. That's horrible. Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining. Not at all. I've long since gotten used to that. I live in the darkness, yes, but that has gifted me with the ability to catch the truths others might miss. I can hear the voices hidden in the darkness, you might say. Well, I'm glad that you're so chipper about the whole thing. This handrail is made of metal. Alright, but I was really more interested in the coat rack or hat rack or whatever. It's a coat rack. Like a place where you can hang your coats and hats and stuff. Well, this one's not too big, so maybe just hats. Alright. Noted. Oh man, you know what my least favorite part about this entire room is? The fact that everything looks freaking identical. Oh dear lord. Alright. Oh, hello. OHFB, NEDB. Okay, well hang on. I could definitely rearrange these to spell at least one thing. What's the deal with these titles? They're all just gibbery gobbledygook. Oh, well, what if we, like, switch them around? Switch them around? Yeah. If we move them around, maybe they'll spell something. Oh, I get it. Yeah, heck, it's worth a shot. All right, then. Well, if I can do this. Open here, find bulb. How about this? Looks like putting those books in the right order opened this thing right up. Huh, that was a piece of cake. It was fairly obvious once I realized that the first one was going to be open. Hooray! You did it, Junpei! Along with so many other puzzles. We don't do a lot of them. I guess that turned out well enough. So the letters from the titles spell out, open here, find bulb. And bulb I have most certainly found. That's a powerful light bulb. This light bulb looks like it's brand new. And it's really big, so it'll make a lot of light. Well, ain't that just what you'd want the most from a light bulb? Okay, well, we got that going for us, which is neat. Are property values going up out in space, too, these days? Man, I guess times are tough for aliens, too. What? This one says cosmic inflation. I see. All right, then. Quantum gravity. 7, do you have any idea what this is? How about you start by using real words? Then maybe we'll get somewhere. What word do you believe is not made real, but quantum or gravity? 7, you've actually, up to this point, been a remarkably intelligent person. I don't see either of those words being something that you specifically would be confused by. That's very odd. Also, interesting. These are the same thing. Odd. Okay, well, what if I wanted to click on the ladders? Oh, I guess not. The black hole hypothesis. Gamma ray astrophysics. Physicists. I guess this bookshelf has an astronomy theme. All right, oh, we've got more fancy books with fancy titles. What's Hellenism? Well, that's where you study the Helen. I think it's something like a fusion of Greek and Oriental culture. I don't know. A kid's book? Here? It looks like it's a children's story about Native Americans. Don't you think a random book like that is kind of suspicious? Maybe you ought to hold on to it. Alrighty, sure. Huh. Depending on how old this is either incredibly offensive or very enlightening. Who knows? It says Cowboys and Indians on it, so I'm gonna go ahead and say probably the former. This one has some Native Americans on the cover. Hey, Junpei, take a look at this one. Native Americans, huh? Maybe it's got some, whoa! Whoa. Interesting. Okay. Let's definitely look at it from a kill? Click? What's that? This one's one of them there pop-up books? LRK? That doesn't mean anything, does it? Well, you could make them Carl. Like Carl or Carl. I guess. LILK. Well, I don't know what the hell any of this is about. I'm sure we'll find out in due time. Let's see, any other books? These books all seem to be about history. History of the medieval period. Maybe it's about Sir Lancelot. Isn't he just a story? I don't think you're gonna find a guy who didn't really exist in a history book. You don't know. There could have been a guy named that. A history of Buddhism. Look, this one says Cultural Heritage of Rome. That's gonna be serious inheritance tax. I think I might be too dumb to understand some of the jokes that are being dropped down on me right now. Permian creatures? Seems a little fancy for some kind of prehistoric critter. Not to mention, most of them were likely reptiles and amphibians. Without hair, I can't imagine they had much need for perps. It's got nothing to do with this. Freaking hell. Hey, look at this. This book's called Greek Mythology. Damn, that thing's huge. Can't imagine anyone's actually read the whole damn thing. Pretty sure it'd just put me to sleep. So very strange. You know so many things. I considered you more well-read, Seven. I'm gonna be honest. This one's called History of the Western World. Well, I'd assume it's about European history. Yeah. Just gonna leave it at that, Snake? Doesn't seem like you. Okay. Oriental history. Maybe this one's about China's 4,000 years of history or something. Hey, Chinese history and Oriental history aren't the same thing. Fascinating. Fascinating. Okay. This scaffold's set up in the shape of a cross. Or is it? This big opening is the door to the library. It's pretty impressive. Almost like the door to a shrine or a church or something. There's another door after it, and then a passageway beyond that. At the end of that passageway is a door with a Neptune symbol engraved on it. Hurry up. We need to find that key with the mark of Neptune. Okay. Okay, this sounds like a job for the best brother and sister team in the world. Man, it's like Seven and I don't even exist. Hey, if they want to do all the work, they're more than allowed. I ain't gonna stop them. Let's see, you got yourself any other books? This one, it looks just like the picture book from earlier, the one with the pop-ups. You think they're part of a series or something? They do have the same binding. Oh, all right, the fundamentals of baseball. There's a baseball on this one. Come on, Junpei, let's see what's in it. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that's probably baseball stuff. Wow! Head. This is a pop-up book. It's got the letters head popping out of it. Fascinating. Can I combine books? I cannot. Ain't that something and a half? Functions of the human brain, huh? I guess this is a book about the nervous system. I'd love to ask you to read it to me, but I don't think we have the time. I'm kind of curious about it too. There's got to be a reason why people connect with each other, you know? Principles of monkey behavior, huh? I'd imagine that's a book describing paraxology? Praxology? Oh, God, I'm sorry. Fancy pants studies on monkeys. Monkeys are very similar to humans evolutionarily, so I imagine the research was fruitful. Although probably also very inhumane. Dissection Atlas, huh? This whole shelf is full of medical books. This one's called Recreation of Lost Human Functions. You think they're talking about if you, like, lose part of your body, then you can grow it back? I doubt that. Maybe they're talking about reconstructing abilities that humankind once possessed. In other words, they may be talking about cultivating a sixth sense. Because I don't actually know if humans ever had a... And actually, no, wait, humans do have a sixth sense. It's a sense of direction, and there's like a sense of equilibrium. Humans have so many more than 5 senses. Oh, look, 7. Here's a book that's perfect for you. It's called Correlation of Muscle, Bone Density, and Bone Strength. You're just saying that because it says muscle. This book is just called Dissection. This bookshelf must be all medical books. From what I can tell, it sounds as though those books have been organized by genre. The library must be massive. I'm rather impressed by how well organized it is. Human equilibrium theory. Human anatomy. Regeneration of internal organs. For them, they're lizard folk. Ancient gladiators. What's this book doing here? Maybe they were researching human physical limits across history. Perhaps. Okay, so there's all that. Let's head downstairs. Okay, we've got DACA into 1, DACA into 2, and all that stuff. Or dad kind, whatever. What the hell is this? Wasn't that a German mathematician? How would anybody... Okay, maybe it's a compilation of his work. Labyrinths? This book is in German. Looks like it's the complete works of something. I've never heard of it. Well, Snake doesn't know what it is. I don't think we'll ever know. Sheldrake? Sheldrake. Isn't Sheldrake... I don't know. Owen, huh? Owen isn't enough to go on. Perhaps it's about the English Revolutionary? It says Sheldrake on the spine of this book. It's got the volume numbers written on the lower part of the spine. You're not gonna really tell me anything about Sheldrake? Alright then. Then I shall ignore it entirely. The Pythagorean theorem, I think. This is a famous one. Sounds like there are a number of math books in this section. Ugh, I hate them. Algebraic number theory. Math. There's another one like that over here. Need something like primary number theory, or analytical number theory, or geometry. Oh my gosh, how did you know? Nobody said anything about those. Well, number theory is usually split into 4 chief disciplines, if you're a nerd. If there was a book named Algebraic Number Theory, I took a wild guess that the other 3 would be there as well. Looks like I was right. Well, aren't you just a fancy pants? This one's Gold Box Conjecture. Conjecture? What's it about, like magic or psychic stuff or something? Right, I bet it's about jewelry, isn't it? It may have an odd title, but it's actually a very respectable mathematics book. It deals with one of the unsolved problems of additive number theory. Oh, no, sorry I said anything. Looks like, let's not get into this right now, okay? I'm very, very not cool with the math. It says Riemann hypothesis. What is there to hypothesize about with a Riemann? Isn't it pretty straightforward? Wait, what? Heavens, no, there are many factors. Length, girth, lubrication, or lack of. It's an excited and rapidly growing field. Whoa. I don't really feel a desire to put any thoughts further into what I thought that was about. Let's just keep going. Modern Japanese literature. There's another one of these picture books here. Something about these things feels kind of nice, you know? I'm checking all of the bookshelves because I don't know when one of these things is going to be relevant. Brings back good memories. I guess even people like 7 were kids once. Well, no duh, you little brat. Hey guys, cool it. Alright, I think I'm going to take this picture book with me. It's Tales of Old Japan. It's got a magic wand on it. Okay. So, what's inside? Well, aren't you going to open it? Pretty sure it's just going to be pages inside smart... Whoa! Who would have ever guessed? Hot diggity damn, that's so crazy. The 3rd pop-up book we found has pop-up stuff in it. Crazy. Anyway, looks like another pop-up book. This has an S, an E, a dash, and a number 5 sticking out of it. I might be impressed if I was 5. Okay, well, start getting more impressed, nerd. Anything else? Nope. Doesn't seem like it. Hang on. Did I check that one? Origin of Japanese folklore? Looks like there are a bunch of books about Japanese culture here. Mostly ones about folklore, though. Well, folklore can cover a wide range of subjects. History, urban life, religion, trends, environmental changes, oral traditions. Folklore can cover all those things if you know where to look. This looks pretty deep. Deep as the sea. What's this? It's a small enclosure with 9 sides. There are 3 of these things that look kind of like music stands. Okay, how about we try putting these picture books on the stands? Then, oh, okay. Huh, this is a little weird. There are 3 lights in this thing. They aren't very bright, though. Hey, didn't we find some kind of really powerful light bulb earlier? Ah, we can make a bunch of shadows happen. Oh, well, it's gonna get a lot brighter, but well, if there are 3 lights, that means 3 light bulbs. There won't be much point unless we can find all 3 bulbs. So we need 3 light bulbs, huh? Okie dokie. Alright, we'll take a gander. There are a couple books on the glass shelf. From left to right, they just say Volume 6, Volume 3, Volume 2, Volume 4, Volume 1, and Volume 5. Considering how out of organization they are, that's gotta mean something. Oh, God. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, well, hang on a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 2, 4, 1, 5. I don't know. 6, 3, 2, 4, 1, 5. Yep. Then in the middle of the glass door is a cylindrical lock. You know, the kind of lock where you rotate the numbers around until you've got the right numbers to open it. What the hell is this? It's like they just gave us the answer. Guess I might as well give it a shot. It sure seems like that might be the case. Problem. I don't remember. 632. 632, 415. 632, 415. 632, 415. 6, 3, 2. Oh crap. 4, 1, 5. Wow, they really did just straight up give the answer. You did it, Junpei. Yay! I don't know why, but I don't really feel particularly happy about being praised for that. Whatever. At least the lock's open now. Let's see if we can get it. If nothing else, I'm glad I didn't get hung up on that. I don't feel intelligent for having been able to solve it, but I do feel not stupid for not getting stuck on it. I guess I'll have to take that much. All right, can we open this now? Let's find out. Yes, I can. All 6 books seem to be pointing at this. Oh, there's another light bulb. Give me that light bulb. Dun, 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 dun. Very nice. Okay, so that's good. I wonder what this is all about. Well, no matter how you look at it, the game doesn't seem too terribly interested in actually letting me do anything with that stuff, so I guess I don't need to worry. The iron plate is bolted down. No, I don't think it's a door. I think it's just a wall. I guess it could be a wall. Let's see. Also, yeah, lights to the books. Indeed, indeed. Do I have any hats? No, only light bulbs. Okay. So, the $1.5 million question is, well, just listening to you read those titles is giving me a headache. Can't say fancy technology stuff and I get along real well. Keep on talking about that stuff and you're gonna put me to sleep. Nap time is good times. Interesting, interesting. Now, if I were a light bulb, other than in a lamp, where would I be? Well, have I not looked at this? Paleontology. This one's about fossils, right? Ammonites are pretty nasty looking. I mean, that's rather rude. Mother Nature. Is that some sort of book about hippie chicks? I would imagine it's more so about nature. Probably not, except perhaps tangentially. It's most likely about environmental protection. I was just trying to make a joke. Dude, hippie chicks, really? Are they gonna come out here and sing with Leonard Nimoy, the Ballad of Bilbo Baggins? I don't think so. The Theory of Evolution. Heck, even I know this one. That's the Darwin guy, right? Dude, it seems weird. It feels like Seven's gotten dumber since he's come into this room. This all actually, like, so far, every single character in this game has known everything about everything and really highly advanced topics and conversation pieces. And then for some reason, the second we got in here, he's like, I don't know nothing about none of these big things was above my head. Like, that doesn't sound like Seven at all. Well, yes and no. Charles Darwin wrote a book called On the Origin of the Species. In it, he put forth his theory of evolution. Yeah, I remember that part. He called it natural selection. Exactly. It was then very contested for a very long time. Oy. Theories of the Cambrian explosion. Did a bomb go off near somewhere called Cambria? Bruh. How do you know about frickin', I don't know, weird-ass detergent crystals, but not this? Wrong kind of explosion. Roughly 500 million years ago, during what is known as the Cambrian period, there was just so much new life. They were just everywhere. It was crazy, man. It was a wild west of existence. Research suggests that the variety of living organisms increased by an order of magnitude. Why that happened is, however, still something of a mystery. Because of the chemical soup. Come on now, this is basic stuff. For a number of reasons, this book is most likely a collection of them. Introduction of geology. Yes, rocks. thinking about the Earth, even when you're on the ocean. Kind of romantic in a way, I guess. This one says, transition of extinct species. We need to hurry it up or we're gonna be end up in the pages of books like that. Well, this whole screen hasn't gotten me anything. Creatures of the South Seas. Wonder this one's got pictures of fish. I like fish. Micrographia? Huh. Oh yes, Robert Hooke's famous work, first published in 1665. He built, I don't know, something that went away. Substances and other things too small to be seen in detail by human eyes. He then drew pictures of many of the things he'd examined and published them in a book. I'd hazard to guess this shelf is concerned with natural sciences. Why did mankind lose their tails? Junpei, do you know what this one's about? Why are you asking me? I didn't even know we had tails to lose. Maybe you should ask a human with a tail. Mankind's ancestors most likely lost their tails as they were no longer useful and the nutrients required to grow them were better put to use elsewhere. At least that's what I read. I was rather young. I may have remembered it incorrectly. Huh. How the hell would a kid be reading a book like that? I don't know. Apparently he's young. So, I don't know, maybe he just spent a lot of time reading stuff. It's technically not a crime. Okay, we have looked at so many things. Automated robotic assembly line techniques. God, there's so much! What's that, some sort of comic book? Jeez, I guess boys really like that stuff, huh? No, you're thinking of a different sort of robot. This book is talking about automated machinery that's used to build things like cars. None of these things seem to... An overview of photochemistry. I think whoever set this up wanted us to see the cover, not the spine. Let's look at it, okay? Oh, well, how is that book any different than any other books that are very obviously kind of sticking out? Huh, looks like there's a whole lot of space behind these books. Look, Junpei, I think there's something hidden behind the books. Thank you. Like, look at this one, and that one, and this one, and if you go over to any other shelf, like that one, and this one, and this one, and that one, like, why was that specific one a good, whoa. Don't shove, I'm not kidding, don't push me. What the heck, man? I wasn't gonna, but now that you bring it up, I kinda wanna push you. Do not push 7. Okay, I would like to go to the downlands, if it's all the same. Gonna go down, thank you. I have many light bulbs of which to use. All right, 3 lights. I'm gonna change these bulbs. Now they should... Ah! Shield Rake 5. Awesome, it worked. Way to go, Junpei, good job, buddy. There's something projecting on the bottom. Those letters, they seem familiar. All right, Shield Rake 5.
Sheldrake 5?
Oh, right, Sheldrake, that makes more sense.
I think I saw the rest of his collection somewhere.
Yeah, I think it was somewhere around here.
Yeah, it was really obvious.
Let's go take a look.
Okay.
Sheldrake.
Have you heard of him? Sheldrake, I mean.
It's conceivable.
Yeah, Lotus told me about him.
She did.
There's
Oh.
a British biochemist named Sheldrake. He has a rather interesting theory.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I completely forgot the name of the British biochemist that had an interesting theory. I was far too distracted with you thinking a dog, you thinking there's a dog and I think it's a boat. It was a big thing, all right? There was a lot to remember.
Morphogenetic fields, which relies on the theory of morphic resonance.
Really? From Lotus, huh?
Why not?
Well, Clover also said something to me about that stuff.
She did?
She did. She told me a lot of things.
Yeah, what was it?
The ability to access a morphogenetic field is affected by a couple of things.
Junpei, I'm pretty sure what Clover said was told to you in confidence.
The first is epiphany, and the other is danger.
High voltage.
That girl. I told her not to tell anyone.
Yeah, that's what she said.
You did? Why?
Well,
Look, man, I didn't push it because we're in a hurry, but I'm kind of sick of this. How about you just tell me, okay?
tell you what?
Don't give me that. About the experiment.
Ugh. Very well, fine. I'll tell you everything.
I appreciate that, finally.
But not here. Let's move to the top floor.
But I want to look at okay. Fine, let's hear about this experimente.
I suppose I might as well start by telling you why I kept quiet. And why I made sure Clover did as well.
I mean, I just kind of assumed you believed it was nobody else's business, which, you know, fair. On top of that, I'm sure the whole thing was kind of a massive traumatic event, so, you know, why dwell on it? There's a grand number of reasons why.
To be honest, the explanation is quite simple. Zero told me not to. I had little choice.
Oh. Okay, didn't know about that one.
He didn't walk up and tell me, of course. He gave me a message engraved on a card.
That's a Braille card. It looks just like the one you showed us earlier. So you had 2 cards.
And you just lied! Well, you didn't lie. You just omitted that you had it.
No, only one.
Nani?
Huh? What do you mean? I thought that card just had some rules for the nonary game on it.
Yes, it did. And those were the rules I read you. However, they were not the only thing on the card. There was something I didn't read. Well, perhaps I should say, there was something I couldn't read.
Why not?
And that was?
Tell no one of the events that took place 9 years ago. Tell, and I activate your sister's detonator.
Oh, okay, you know what? That's a perfectly understandable reason to not want to talk about it. Well and truly understood and acceptable.
It's a threat on our lives.
Oh. Well, what about Clover? Did she get a message from Zero too?
I don't believe she did. But doesn't it strike you as strange that Zero would shut my mouth, but not hers?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
To be on the safe side, however, I told her it was best not to tell anyone.
That's fair.
Still, apparently she told you. That girl.
Hey, look, I gave her hope in a time where she thought there was none.
What's wrong with her telling me? I figured some stuff out with the things she told me. I mean, it looks like the whole activate her detonator thing was just a bluff.
I mean, that much is apparent, what with the not being exploded thing.
She's prancing around downstairs happy as a clam now that you're back.
She is a very happy clam.
That's very true. I've decided I can trust you.
Oh, I like that.
I've decided to tell you the truth. The chance that Santa is Zero is very high. I feel I can assume Santa doesn't have the time to observe us at the moment. And at any rate, even if he were, I very much doubt he would kill us.
Why?
Yeah.
Clover told me about the 4-leaf clover, about the words. If he knew about that, then he was in my group during the first experiment. I'm sure of it.
Okay.
He wouldn't kill us,
But why wouldn't he?
no matter what the situation was.
I am curious as to the why.
Hey, Snake?
Yes, I know. You want to know what happened during the experiment.
Little bit.
Yeah.
How much do you know?
Clover told me about...
This, that, and a little bit of, hearsay.
I see. The morphogenetic field in the experiments 9 years prior. How the experiments had taken place simultaneously at 2 locations, one being the ship and the other being a building in Nevada.
Mm-hmm.
And the girl that died during the experiment.
That's about all I got.
She told you all that, did she?
Mm-hmm. I mean, to be fair, it was a bits and pieces over the course of the entire game, so...
At any rate, I now know how much you've learned. All that remains for us to determine
is who did this and why, right?
yes.
Can you tell me what happened?
Yes. The people who organized the initial experiment were from a company called Cradle Pharmaceuticals.
Yeah. Well, I guess this version of us don't know that.
There were 4 of them running the show. Gentaro Hongo,
I know who that is.
Nagisa Nijisaki, Teruaki Kubota, Kagechika Musashido. Hongo was the CEO of Cradle Pharmaceuticals. Nijisaki was his right-hand man and did the lion's share of the planning. Kubota led the company's research and development division.
Is Kubota the 9th man? It kind of looks like him.
Musashido was their majority stockholder. It was these 4 people who planned the initial experiment.
But for why?
Let me simplify it for you. Hongo designed it, and Nijisaki put it all together.
Okay.
Kubota developed the technology required, and Musashido provided the cash.
All right, yeah, that's easy to figure out.
Huh, so it's Hongo, Nijisaki, Kubota, Musashido...
Of course, more than 4 people were required to conduct an experiment of this scale.
I mean, yeah, they had to hire at least 2 kidnappers.
To that end, they organized a top-secret team to assist them with their research. All in all, they gathered 10 people or so. Those 10 completed their team, and they were able to begin the project. They named it the Nonary Project.
But for why?
The purpose of the experiment was to research the prospect of controlling a human mind through sheer will.
Kind of sounds a lot like they're just doing it for the evil.
The vessel, I suppose you could say, for this control was the morphogenetic field.
Huh.
Why did the glycerin suddenly begin to crystallize? Why did the crystal structure of EDT undergo a sudden change? Why did the rats improve their puzzle-solving skills with each generation? Experiments with humans produce the same results.
Just bringing up all those previously completely random and esoteric conversations. Dang, everything did have meaning.
The more people who knew the answer to a question, the more there were who could answer correctly without having seen the problem before. Why is that? How could it happen?
Random chance.
The answer is that the shape of the answer has been stored in a field invisible to the naked eye. And through that field, the resonant event transmits information related to that answer. That's essentially the idea behind morphogenetic fields.
I see.
But that's just a theory.
Can't bring yourself to believe it?
I mean, in a fictional video game land, I'm sure it is 100% legit.
Yeah.
Let's say someone killed another person because the devil told them to do it.
Historically speaking, a lot of people would cite that as the reason why they did it.
Whether the devil exists or not has no relevance to the murder. They believe the devil exists. Whether or not he does is immaterial.
So what matters here is that Hongo believed in the morphogenetic field.
Yeah, okay.
That's right.
So, whether or not it's there, doesn't matter. They thought it was, and they were gonna find it.
But I still don't get it. You said they wanted to figure out how to control people, right? That is what you were saying.
Yes.
So how are they going to do that with a morphogenetic field?
Yeah, that's what I don't really understand. Like, experiments with, you know, crap. It's not telekinesis, it's telepathy. There we go. Well, how would that control people?
I'll keep it simple. Let's suppose 10,000 people have solved a certain problem. The chance of you knowing that answer, even if no one has told you, will go up. Let's have another example, shall we?
Okay.
Say 1 million people were to do a handstand right now. Tomorrow, the chances of you doing a handstand would be higher, even if you had heard nothing of this hypothetical mass handstanding.
Well, you mean like what the odds of me randomly deciding to attempt it? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I got weak arms.
Mankind's thought process and actions are all part of a resonant event. All of the resonant events encoded in the fields are projected onto you. Of course, this assumes you believe in this theory. Do you follow so far?
I follow.
Yeah.
Now, if there was a person who had the same effect as those millions of people, what would happen? If that one person were to do a handstand, other people would find themselves wanting to do handstands as well.
So what, is the idea that if we could get somebody to become a telepath, it would, like, spread like the crystallization of detergent and then everybody could be telepaths?
Can you imagine what a person with powers like that would be able to do?
Come on, there's no way.
I'm not done. Imagine another scenario. Imagine another person. This is an ordinary person. Let's say he does a handstand. What if there was someone who could grab the resonant event he created by doing that and use it to make other people do handstands? What would happen then? A person who has the power to write to the field, and someone who can read from the same. You could think of them as the writer and the reader, or the transmitter and the receiver.
Okay.
What would the world be like if there were people with abilities like these?
I mean, I guess I wouldn't really know unless it was happening.
So the transmitter's resonant event can be transmitted through the field and sent to the receiver. And then the transmitter can control the receiver however they wish. That's what you're saying, right?
Yes. Close enough, at least.
Good enough.
Come on, that's just crazy.
Well, if you want to prove that, then you'll have to test it first. At least, that was how they thought. That was why they decided to do their experiment. That was how the Nonary project began.
I guess that makes sense. It's still all very messed.
By the way, Junpei,
Yes?
have you ever heard of the Gansfeld experiment?
I sure haven't.
Yeah, that was an experiment in telepathy, right?
Okay. Or wait, maybe this was something that was brought up earlier. I think I vaguely remember because I thought I was going to make a joke about how Gansfeld sounded like Garfield, but I never did because, too easy.
You place a pair of subjects in separate rooms. Then you show one a picture and ask the other what they see.
Yeah, this did come up.
Interesting. I'm impressed. Yes, that is exactly correct.
So, why did you bring up the Gansfeld experiment?
It was used to screen subjects for the Nonary project. The hospital in a remote town was affiliated with Cradle Pharmaceuticals. Hongo used it to conduct experiments on visiting children in secret.
That's messed up as hell. Also interesting that the CEO of a pharmaceutical company looks a lot more like a mafioso in this picture.
Some of them, he found, had potential. He began to gather children that showed promise. Children that seemed as though they might be able to access the field. Of course, none of them volunteered.
Of course not.
They were kidnapped. There were 9 pairs of siblings taken, for 18 children total. For reasons that were not fully understood at the time, each pair had 1 transmitter and 1 receiver. They were split perfectly. As such, the 18 children were split into 2 groups of 9.
Why 9?
The children who were put into Group Q were the ones who excelled at transmitting. They were transferred to the mock experiment building known as Building Q in the Nevada desert. The children who excelled at receiving were put in Group A. Group A was then placed on the former hospital ship Gigantic. From the experiments he had conducted so far, Hongo had learned the following. There are 2 things that can increase one's resonance with the fields. The first is epiphany. The other is danger.
So I have heard.
Have you ever been faced with an especially difficult problem and thought about it very long and very hard until finally an answer suddenly appeared in your mind?
No, but I'm a very unremarkable person and not really all that intelligent.
It may seem obvious to say so, but that is what is meant by epiphany. The information obtained through that epiphany can be easily transmitted through the fields, where it can be easily interpreted. Adding danger to that equation allows for even easier field access. That's where Hongo came in. They set up a number of puzzles across the Gigantic. The participants had to solve each one before they could move to the next room.
Inadvertently, apparently, inventing the escape room in the process, which is a little interesting.
Of course, he hadn't forgotten to include danger. He had detonated a bomb on the hull of the Gigantic. The children in Group A were forced to play the nonary game as the ship sunk. By forcing the children into a life-or-death situation, Hongo hoped to increase the likelihood of their tapping into the fields. The children from Group Q, on the other hand, were confined to the mock experiment building, Building Q. Building Q duplicated the interior and puzzles of the Gigantic exactly.
That's actually fairly impressive.
Every detail was exactly the same.
How the hell did they make that work?
Hongo explained the situation to the children in Group Q. Solve the puzzles you find throughout the rooms. When you have the answers, transmit that information to the children in Group A. If you succeed, they will be able to solve the puzzles and escape. But if you fail, then the Gigantic will sink, and your brothers and sisters will drown.
Jesus!
Those were his orders. Do you know why the astronauts of Apollo 13 were able to return to Earth safely?
The unbelievable dedication of all of the incredibly intelligent people involved in the process?
It was because NASA had access to a replica of the Apollo 13 capsule. All of the equipment, the instruments, everything. All of it identical. Everything was just like the real Apollo 13. NASA was able to replicate the situation the astronauts found themselves in. By putting themselves in the same situation, they attempted to solve the problems the astronauts were dealing with. Once they found solutions, they reported their findings to the men aboard the actual capsule.
I'll be honest, I don't actually know a lot about the moon landing other than the fact that they successfully did it.
That was how they were able to return safely.
Huh.
It was the same with the Gigantic and Building Q. The children from Group Q had to use the power of epiphany to solve the puzzles they found and transmit what they learned through the fields. The children in Group A, however, they had to access the fields to learn how they might advance to the next stage.
I see.
That is the simplest explanation I can manage.
Hey, Junpei, Snake! How much longer are you two gonna sit around on those bony asses?
Okay, first of all, rude, it's a serious condition.
Get down here already!
He's right. Let's go, shall we? We don't have much time. We need to get out of here, and soon.
Fair enough.
Hold it. There's one more thing I want to ask you. Are you sure that there were 18 kids?
Why?
Well, I thought it was only 16.
Oh, yes. That was what they said on the news, wasn't it? Yes, I have no doubt that 18 children were abducted and used in Hongo's experiment.
Then does that mean that 2 of the children were simply never reported on?
After all, you couldn't exactly play a nonary game with any less, could you?
I suppose that lines up.
Well, yeah, but are you saying that the news got it wrong?
Yes, I am. There were 2 more children. However, they had no relatives that I'm aware of. I imagine no one filed a police report when they went missing.
That would explain it.
They were brother and sister, like Clover and I. The brother's name was Aoi. The sister's name was... Her name was Akane.
Excuse me?
That was the girl who died.
Excuse me?
Akane Kurashiki died?
Now, to Snake's credit, he didn't say Akane Kurashiki, but it would be rather coincidental if, there were 2 Akanes. What?
9 years ago? Then, who is June? No. It's impossible.
I am confused.
Akane isn't that uncommon of a name.
No, it's really not.
If Snake had known her last name, that's a different matter entirely. So they share a name. A lot of other people do too. It doesn't mean anything.
I mean, I'm sure that it ultimately does, or else the game wouldn't bother establishing it. But...
It was someone else. Of course it was. It has to be.
Is something wrong, Junpei? Your breathing sounds strange.
Oh, no, it's nothing. I'm fine.
it's a condition!
Let's get back down there, alright?
I couldn't do it. What did I ask? What's her last name? I just couldn't get the words to come out.
I think you're afraid of the answer. But I mean, it's not like it's a fake June. She knows, we know from other things that she knows about, like, your past. You know, so, I mean, it's gotta be the same one. Maybe if I knew how this other Akane died. Because, I mean, maybe it was a faked death. Or maybe you just thought that she was dead and she actually did survive. Something like that, maybe. It's hard to say. Anyway, Sheldrake 5. This is what the shadow picture was pointing to. But didn't it say 5 at the end of the shadow picture? So I think we need to find the 5th volume. That one there. You know, there was nothing stopping us from just ripping all this stuff off the shelves. These were very, very obvious looking puzzle things. Unless there are other switches behind all of the other books, I'm gonna go ahead and say that would have been a very easily solved puzzle. There's a big red button behind this book. I guess we should press it. And then I did. Whoa! Well, alright then. What was that sound? It sounded like something really big was moving. It came from the top floor. Alright, let's check it out. Honestly, I'm surprised none of the books got loosened or anything. Alright, what's all this? Huh, there's a keyboard in front of the numbers. And there are 4 Roman numerals on the wall. It's gotta be a hint of some kind. Okay, so I think that, yeah, of some sort. 10, so 13. I can't remember. Is IV 4? I think IV is 4. So 13, 14, 10, 13? I believe that is what this is. I want to say VI is 6. Those are all Roman numerals. Do you think we just need to put in the numbers from the wall on the keyboard? No, you can't. The keyboard doesn't have any number keys. You can't type in stuff like 3 or 4. Then that means... well, I bet you've got to type something on that keyboard. Yeah, but you can only enter letters. And it looks like you can only enter 4 letters. 4 letters? Huh. Guess you need to hit enter once you type in the letters. And you can erase what you typed with Clarl. Okay, I get the basic operations. Let's give it a shot. Yeah, no, I don't know. Damn it. I don't get it. What the hell is the point of these Roman... What is Snake doing? These Roman numerals, if you convert them to Arabic numerals, you'll have 13, 14, 10, and 13. Oh. Okay, well, at least I was right. True, but this keyboard only has letters, and we can only enter 4 letters. Then why don't you just convert the numbers to letters? Convert the numbers to letters? Oh God, hexadecimal crap again? Or maybe we could just count it, so like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, M, N, J, M? I don't know. I know not. M, N, J, M. Alrighty, cool beans, cool beans. I'm an M&M. Oh man! Why isn't this working? Hey, Junpei, I was thinking, isn't this kind of like that other one? Other one what? Come on, you remember, the one in the captain's room. I don't remember how that worked, though. Okay. 11 is B, 12 is C, 13 is D. Okay. Okay. Then... Okay. No. Okay, thank God, I still have this. I didn't realize I did. Okay. Then that would mean... We've got... Hang on. We've got... yeah, 13, 14, 10, 13. So, what we have... D, E... A, D. Oh. Okay. Okay, I figured it out. Yay! You did it, Junpei! It's unlocked now. Good job, Junpei, huh? Don't praise me so much. I needed a lot of clues for that. Whoa there, don't get too excited. The password was dead, remember? Just make me think so whatever's waiting for us ain't no good. So what? Jeez, you're such an old lady. You can't be worrying about stuff like that. I mean, come on, we got to unlock, didn't we? Let's go, hurry up. What did we get on? What did we get unlocked? It's a thick metal door. There's a handle in the middle of it, though. All right, let's use that thick metal handle. Good. Damn it, can't get it open. This thing won't even budge. What? Why not? We put in the password, what else do we have to do? Then that means it's the other door. One tells lies and the other tells the truth. All right, let's get this thing open. All right, that one. All right, cool. Interesting. But what about the other door? Explain that mess. You can't.
All right, this is the next.
The door!
They spun around. The door they'd just come through had slammed
Did
shut.
that just close on its own?
Sure seemed to.
Don't tell me we can't go back.
We can't.
I don't know. Let's see.
Junpei grabbed hold of it with both hands and pulled with all his strength.
Damn it. It looks like it locks automatically.
Bummer.
Is there any other way out?
Well, there's another door over on the right.
Dang.
There's a card reader next to it.
We got a lot of scrap going on here.
It's got a red light on it, though, so I'm pretty sure it's locked, too.
But there is a card reader, right?
Yeah.
Then perhaps if we find a key card, we could open the door and leave?
Perhaps we could.
Yeah, that might work, but...
Hey, wait a minute. Are you saying we're gonna have to search through this room for one little card?
Guess so.
Oh, man.
They took a second look at the room they'd found themselves in. It's a bit of a mess. It was filled with piles upon piles of all manner of things. The only word they could describe it was chaotic. And it was like a tornado had passed through, followed by a giant who'd picked up and shaken the entire room a few times.
Looks that way.
Junpei's heart fell.
No way.
For real?
Clover and Seven looked as though they were about to cry.
Well, we can sit down and wait to die, if that's what you prefer.
Not preferably, no.
I rather doubt that, however. So it would be wise to start looking. We haven't much time. Let's find that key card. Oh, and the Neptune key as well.
If you can find it.
We won't be able to get through the hallway without it.
I see a drawing table. That's neat.
All right then. Let's begin.
Just jumping headfirst into another one of these, huh? Oh, that's all kinds of unfortunate. But okay, sure. Oh god, this is all kinds of not pleasant. Although I found it interesting, all of these red things on the floor, those seem kind of important. Oh lord, this game is gonna ask me to do a lot of stuff, so let's, assuming that's an escape room, novel. One more escape room, and then maybe the rest is novel. Maybe. It's impossible to tell, really.